Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel of Mr. Footballoons, and today we are doing Week 1 predictions of the Barclays Premier League. Starting off on the 13th of August, not 12th of August because Brentford have already beaten Arsenal 2-0. But let's start off Manchester United versus Leeds. 3-2 to Manchester United. Leeds always likes to have exciting games, very high goal scoring, but Man United have made two really good signings in Sancho and Varane. I think those are going to push them ahead to win this game against Leeds. Leeds have got a left back in Pro. Alioski has now left the club, but it was okay. But I think Pro is probably an improvement. Definitely going to be a close game. Now moving on to Leicester City versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now I'm thinking 3-1 to Leicester on that one. Wolves, they've lost their manager, they've lost their keeper, but they've brought in a new keeper. I don't know if he's as good, around similar possibly. Leicester, they've got a strong squad. They're definitely, I think they're one of the new top 6 clubs. It's going to be very hard for Wolves, and I think Wolves are going to finish mid-table. And it's just going to be really hard for Wolves to get back in their form as it used to be. So I'm going to stick with 3-1 to Leicester. Moving on to Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. 3-0 Chelsea. Romelu Lukaku's in the Premier League, back to the Premier League. Love to see him here. Chelsea have a really, really good side. They've got a good goalkeeper in Mendy. You know, up front, obviously, Romelu Lukaku. They've got Mason Mount, who had a decent Euros. They've got Ziyech, which is okay. Havertz, which is going to really link up well with Lukaku. Can't wait to see that duo partner. Timo Werner, I mean, he got a few assists, only 6 goals. He might be able to improve. I'm hoping to see an improvement for him. Hopefully he can fit into that side. And they've got a good holding midfield in N'Golo Kante. So their squad looks pretty good to maybe be even on a title race. But Crystal Palace, I believe I heard something about they've got a couple of injuries. And their side, they haven't really made massive impacts into their signings, and I just can't see Chelsea messing up. Moving on to Watford versus Aston Villa, 1-1. Watford obviously being a newly promoted side. I'd love to see Sarr, the right winger, back in the Prem. You know, Ben Foster, who I'm hoping can get some game time. He's a decent goalkeeper for them, and Troy Deeney obviously up front. They haven't made the best of signings, nothing really in the transfer market. They're going to be in a relegation battle. Aston Villa, on the other hand, selling Jack Grealish might actually be a positive for them. Because they've got, I believe, Bailey from Leverkusen. They've got Danny Ings from Southampton. And they've got Buendia from Norwich City. Looks like a decent side, but I think at the start they're going to be a bit meh. But they'll progress up to possibly even a top 10 spot. So let's move on to Everton versus Southampton. Everton usually start off the season very well, so I'm going to go 2-1 to Everton. Everton, they've got Calvert-Lewin, they've got Richarlison, they've still got Rodriguez, as if I know. They haven't really made any improvements, I don't think, really. The side, just going based on history at the start of the season, and they already have a decent side, a strong side, that I think could easily beat Southampton now that Southampton have a very weak side. It looks like Southampton's Vestergaard, their best centre-back, in my opinion, looks like he's possibly heading over to Leicester City, so that's not good. I think they've got an Adam Armstrong, I'm not too sure. But, yeah, I don't see Southampton really getting any points against Everton in this first game. Let's move on to Burnley versus Brighton. I think it's going to be a boring 0-0 draw. Brighton yet to spend all the money on a striker. The money from Ben White moving over to Arsenal, which is a big centre-back gone for Brighton. But they have brought in a centre-mid, I can't pronounce his name, for £20 million, I believe. Hopefully see him doing stuff for them to try and get them in possibly top 10. They could probably do top 10 if they did have a striker. Also, they have a load of shots every single game. I think maybe even one of the most shots per game than any other team in the Prem, I think, last season. I'm not too sure. But Burnley, they've got the older squad at age 30. Not really looking good there. Sean Dice, I believe, he hadn't been offered a new contract. He's 12 months left of his contract, but he's definitely a good manager. And Chris Wood, I don't think he's going to perform quite yet to get a goal in this game. They haven't really made any signings, just one signing from Stoke City. He's a youngster for £12 million, Collins. It's good to see them getting youngsters to try and improve the age range, but 0-0. Boring draw. Moving on to Norwich City versus Liverpool. I'm going to say 4-1 to Liverpool. Liverpool have got a really good side, especially now the signing of a centre-back, I think Conte? Something like that. I can't remember his name. But I know he got him for £36 million. He's going to really link up with Van Dijk, now back from injury. They have a very good defence, a very good squad, but I think Van Dijk might not perform as well, but he's still going to perform absolutely amazing. They've got a good attack. Salah, Jota, and Mane up in the front. They're missing Jorginho Ronaldo. I don't think they've replaced him as of yet. But Norwich, they've signed players with the money from Buendia going to Aston Villa. That's a big loss for them, and for that, I think Timo Pukki, might get a goal in this game. That'll be the only goal that he'll get pretty much all season. He's going to get a few, but in my opinion, Timo Pukki's just not that quality of Premiership player. Moving on to a whole new day, 14th of August. Newcastle United take on West Ham United at St James's Park. Sadly, Joe Willock will not be there. He will be there in the next game for Newcastle against Aston Villa. I'm going to say 2-1 to Newcastle United. Yes, I'm a Newcastle fan, and maybe I'm being a bit too biased, but last season Newcastle got 6 points against West Ham. Start of the season, their first game last season was also West Ham. They won it, I think 2-0. West Ham squad looks very strong, and I think they could be challenging for top 10 easily again, but I don't think they're going to be in any Europa League spot. They might be, but I doubt they'll be in the top 6 again. They've got a good side in Soucek, Declan Rice, good 2 CDMs. Antonio, the only problem with him is that he's injury prone. He could easily get injured. Same with Newcastle United, Callum Wilson, he can also get injured, you know. St. Maximin also is a very good player for Newcastle. I think with history and because the fans are back, you know, thousands of fans are going to be there. That's what's also going to get them a win. So there we go. Moving on to our last game of this video. Tottenham Hotspur versus Man City. Tottenham Hotspur does have a new manager. The Wolves manager previously. And I'm going to say 2-1 to Man City. Spurs have managed to keep Kane as of yet. And I believe they've kept Son. I don't think they've made any amazing major signings that would help the squad so much. But I think because of that, I think they possibly made one signing. I can't quite remember. I think he was a central midfielder. Not really anything big. But they're doing some transfer. And keeping Kane and Son is just the main thing for Spurs. Man City, they've got a really good squad. Now with Jack Grealish, which I don't think is going to perform as well as people thought. I think he's going to dip in form. But he's still going to be good. But I think Sterling's going to get most of the goals. Even without a striker, I think they could be filling in for that top spot in first place. But they've got a decent side, and I think there's no way they're going to lose to Spurs. That is the end of the video. Hopefully you can like and subscribe, and always remember to turn on notifications to never miss one of my fantastic YouTube videos. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.